In the vast expanse of the Galactic Empire's outer rim, aboard the Imperial flagship Asterisk, Eternal Dominion Asterisk, Admiral Zaxtel stood motionless, his 4 eyes fixed on the holographic display before him. His exoskeleton gleamed under the soft blue light of the bridge, a testament to his elevated rank within the Empire's rigid hierarchy. "Report," he commanded, his mandibles clicking with impatience. A junior officer, a Vesperian named Nixis, hurried forward. Her wings buzzed nervously as she delivered her findings. "Admiral, we've detected anomalous signals originating from Sector 9 Omega 7, an uncharted region beyond the Crimson Nebula." Zaxtel's antenna twitched with interest. The Empire prided itself on having mapped and catalogued every corner of the galaxy. An uncharted sector was not just unusual, it was unprecedented. "Nature of the signals?" he inquired, leaning closer to the pulsating dots on the holomap. Nixis hesitated. "Uncertain, sir. They don't match any known patterns in our database. They're erratic, almost intelligent." The bridge fell silent. The implication hung in the air like a charged particle storm. A new, unknown intelligence in their galaxy. It was either a significant threat or a tantalizing opportunity for conquest. Admiral Zaxtel's mind raced through the possibilities. "Deploy probe droids immediately. I want eyes on whatever's causing these signals." "Yes, Admiral," Nixis responded, relaying the orders to the drone bay. Hours passed as the crew of the Asterisk, Eternal Dominion Asterisk, waited with bated breath. The probe droids disappeared into the swirling masses of the Crimson Nebula, their signals growing fainter by the minute. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. Nixis's wings fluttered in agitation as she reported, "Admiral, we've lost contact with the probes. All of them. Simultaneously." Zaxtel's exoskeleton darkened, a sign of deep concern in his species. "Impossible. Our probes are equipped with the most advanced stealth and defensive technologies in the Empire. Nothing should be able to detect them, let alone disable them all at once." The Admiral's mind whirred with calculations. Whatever lurked beyond the Crimson Nebula was far more advanced than they had anticipated. It was a situation that called for his most elite forces. "Prepare the Phantom Squadron," he ordered, his voice grave. "I want our best scouts ready for immediate deployment." As the crew scrambled to carry out his commands, Zaxtel retreated to his private quarters. He activated his secure communication channel, direct to the Imperial High Command. The holographic visage of Grand Executor Vexalia materialized before him. Her serpentine features set in a perpetual scowl. "This had better be important, Admiral." Zaxtel bowed his head in deference. "My liege, we've encountered a situation that may threaten the very foundations of our empire." He proceeded to brief her on the mysterious signals and the loss of the probe droids. As he spoke, he noticed something he'd never seen before in the Grand Executor's eyes, a flicker of fear. "You've done well to bring this to my attention, Admiral," Vexalia said, her forked tongue flicking nervously. "Proceed with utmost caution. If this unknown entity possesses technology capable of effortlessly neutralizing our most advanced probes, it could pose a significant threat to our dominion." "Understood, my liege. I've already dispatched the Phantom Squadron to investigate further." Vexalia nodded approvingly. "Excellent. Keep me informed of any developments, no matter how small. The fate of the Empire may rest on what you discover." As the communication ended, Admiral Zaxtel felt the weight of the galaxy on his shoulders. Whatever lay beyond the Crimson Nebula had the potential to change everything. Little did he know, the human race was about to make its grand entrance onto the galactic stage, and nothing would ever be the same again. The Phantom Squadron, pride of the Imperial fleet, sliced through the crimson veils of the nebula. Led by Commander Kiravos, a rare human defector who had risen through Imperial ranks, the squad consisted of 5 sleek, obsidian ships designed for stealth and speed. Kira's voice crackled over the secure comm channel. "All units, maintain radio silence. We're approaching the anomaly." As they emerged from the nebula's swirling gases, a shimmering barrier filled their view screens. It rippled like water, distorting the space behind it. "By the Emperor's claws," whispered Kira's Dracnian co-pilot, Zorn. His scaled skin glistened with nervous sweat. "What is that?" Kira's eyes narrowed. "Some kind of cloaking field. Advanced, far beyond Imperial tech." A familiar ache tugged at her heart. Could it be? After all these years. "Phantom 2, execute Protocol Shadowbreaker," she commanded. A beam of concentrated tachyons shot from Phantom 2, striking the barrier. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, like a curtain being drawn aside, the shimmering field parted, revealing a breathtaking sight. A blue-green planet hung in space, swathed in wispy white clouds. Continents of green and brown stretched across vast oceans. It was beautiful, familiar, and utterly impossible. "Earth," Kira breathed, her voice a mixture of awe and homesickness. Zorn turned to her, confusion etched on his reptilian features. "Commander, you know this world." Kira nodded slowly, her mind racing. "It's my homeworld, but it shouldn't be here. It can't be here." As the squadron drew closer, they began to pick up transmissions. Radio waves, television broadcasts, and digital signals flooded their sensors. Kira listened, tears welling in her eyes, as she heard the languages of her youth, languages she thought she'd never hear again. "I don't understand," Zorn said, analyzing the data. "These transmissions, some are incredibly primitive. Radio waves, analog television. But others." He trailed off, mandibles clicking in agitation. Kira nodded. "The others are beyond even Imperial understanding. Quantum entanglement communication, graviton-based data transfer." She magnified the image of Earth on their view screen, focusing on the planet's surface. Ancient monuments stood alongside gleaming megastructures that defied physics. Primitive combustion vehicles shared roads with sleek, levitating transports. "It's as if multiple stages of technological development are coexisting," Kira mused. "But how? And why?" Zorn suddenly grabbed her arm, his claws digging into her suit. "Commander, above the planet." Kira looked up, and her breath caught in her throat. There, in high orbit around Earth, hung an object of mind-boggling proportions. It was roughly cylindrical, but with sweeping, organic curves that hurt the eyes to follow. Its surface seemed to shift and change, like a mirage in the desert. "Is that a ship?" Zorn asked, his voice barely a whisper. Kira shook her head slowly. "I don't know. It's not like any ship I've ever seen. The size alone." She quickly calculated in her head. The object was easily 100 times larger than the Imperial flagship Eternal Dominion *. Its presence radiated power and advanced technology that made their own ships seem like children's toys in comparison. "All units, maintain distance," Kira ordered, her military training kicking in despite her shock. "Do not approach the object. Repeat, do not approach." But it was too late. Phantom 3, piloted by the ever-curious Galvanian twins, had drifted too close. A beam of pure white light shot out from the massive object, engulfing Phantom 3. There was no explosion, no debris. The ship simply vanished, as if it had never existed. Panic erupted across the squadron's comm channel. Kira barked orders, trying to regain control of the situation, but her mind was reeling. This was Earth, her Earth, but not as she remembered it. Something had changed in the years she'd been gone. Something monumental. As the remaining ships of Phantom Squadron scrambled to retreat, the massive object above Earth began to move. Slowly at first, then with gathering speed, it oriented itself towards them. Kira felt a bead of cold sweat trickle down her spine. She had come seeking answers about the mysterious signals. Instead, she had stumbled upon a revelation that would shake the Galactic Empire to its core. Earth was not just inhabited. It was not just technologically advanced. Earth, her long-lost home, had become something far greater and more terrifying than she could have ever imagined. And now, they had awoken it. Alarms blared throughout the Phantom Squadron as the massive orbital object moved with impossible grace for its size. Commander Kira Voss's hands flew over the controls, her years of Imperial training kicking in despite the turmoil in her mind. Evasive maneuvers. All units, fall back to the nebula. She barked into the comm. The remaining ships of Phantom Squadron scattered, their engines screaming as they pushed to maximum thrust. But the orbital object, now clearly a vessel of some kind, moved faster still. It seemed to bend space around it, covering vast distances in the blink of an eye. Zorn, Kira's Drachnian co-pilot, hissed in fear. "It's hurting us. Like we're prey." Kira saw it too. Every attempt to veer off course was met with a precise repositioning of the giant ship, forcing them away from the nebula and into open space. Suddenly, their ship shuddered as if caught in an invisible net. The engine's roar fell silent, and every system on board went dark. By the Emperor's void, Zorn whispered, "We're powerless." Kira's mind raced. This level of technology was beyond anything the Empire had ever encountered. She thought of her years away from Earth, of the legends and myths she'd heard in distant corners of the galaxy. One word bubbled to the surface of her consciousness: Supercarrier. As if in response to her thought, the massive ship before them began to transform. Sections shifted and reconfigured, revealing weapon ports, hangar bays, and sensor arrays of incomprehensible design. It was a display of technological prowess that bordered on the magical. A voice crackled through their dead comm system, speaking in perfect galactic standard. "Unidentified vessels, you have entered restricted space. State your intentions." Kira hesitated for a split second before responding. "This is Commander Kira Voss of the Imperial Phantom Squadron. We come in peace." The words felt strange on her tongue after years of Imperial conquest. There was a pause that seemed to stretch for eternity. Then, Kira Voss, human, former citizen of Earth, your genetic signature is on file. Welcome home, Commander. A beam of soft, blue light engulfed their ship. Kira felt a tingling sensation throughout her body, and suddenly, she found herself standing in a vast, gleaming chamber alongside the rest of her squadron. Their weapons had vanished. Before them stood a figure that defied easy description. It appeared humanoid, but its form shifted and flickered, as if struggling to maintain a single shape. "I am the Overseer," the figure said, its voice resonating not through the air, but directly in their minds. "I speak for Earth and its people." Kira stepped forward, her heart pounding. What happened here? Earth was never this advanced when I left." The Overseer's form solidified slightly, taking on a more recognizably human appearance. "Much has changed, Kira Voss. Earth faced extinction and transcended it. We discovered the true nature of reality and reshaped ourselves to harness it." Images flooded Kira's mind. A global catastrophe, a unified humanity rising from the ashes, scientific breakthroughs beyond imagination, and finally, the construction of the Supercarrier, a ship that was more than a ship, a melding of technology and consciousness on a cosmic scale. But the radio signals, the mixture of technologies on the surface, Kira stammered, struggling to process the information. The Overseer nodded. A choice. Some embraced full transformation. Others preferred to maintain connections to our roots. All are respected, all protected. Zorn, finding his voice, asked, "Why hide? With this power you could rule the galaxy." The Overseer turned its gaze on the Drachnian, who shrank back. "We have no interest in ruling, only in protecting and exploring. The galaxy is vast and full of wonders. We wish to experience them, not conquer them." Kira's mind reeled with the implications. Earth, her long-lost home, had not only survived, but had become a power beyond the Empire's wildest dreams. And yet, they had chosen peace over domination. As if reading her thoughts, the Overseer spoke again. "Your Empire now faces a choice, Commander Voss. Embrace peaceful coexistence, or..." The unspoken threat hung in the air. Kira knew that the Empire would never accept this, would never stop until they had claimed Earth's power for themselves. And she knew, with a certainty that chilled her to her core, that such an attempt would lead to the Empire's utter annihilation. The age of Imperial dominance was over. A new era had dawned, with Earth and its enigmatic supercarrier at its center. And Kira Voss, once a loyal Imperial commander, now found herself at the crossroads of history, with the fate of galaxies hanging in the balance. The Imperial Palace on Coruscant Prime buzzed with frantic activity. News of Earth's supercarrier had spread through the highest echelons of power, leaving panic and disbelief in its wake. In the Grand Strategy Chamber, Emperor Zexatka loomed over a holographic display of the newly discovered planet and its awe-inspiring defender. "Impossible," the Emperor hissed, his compound eyes flashing with anger and fear. "No single planet could have developed such technology without our knowledge." Grand Executor Vexalia slithered forward, her serpentine body coiled tightly with tension. "The reports are verified, Your Eminence." Commander Voss's transmission was clear before we lost contact. "This Earth poses a significant threat to our dominion." The Emperor's exoskeleton darkened, a sign of deep distress. "Then we must strike now, before they can fully awaken. Summon the Armada." "Wait." A new voice cut through the chamber. All eyes turned to Admiral Zach Still, who had just entered, looking haggard but determined. "Your Eminence, I bring new information. The humans, they've sent an envoy." The chamber fell silent as a holographic figure materialized in the center of the room. It was the Overseer, its form shifting and shimmering just as it had before Kira and her squad. "Greetings, Emperor Zexatka of the Galactic Empire." The Overseer's voice resonated, not through the air, but directly in the minds of all present. "We come in peace, seeking dialogue and understanding." The Emperor chittered in rage, mandibles clicking furiously. "You invade our space, destroy our probes, and now dare to offer peace. Your audacity knows no bounds." The Overseer's form solidified slightly, taking on a more authoritative stance. "We did not invade. We have always been here, hidden from your sight by choice. As for your probes, they were not destroyed, merely redirected. They are safe, as are the crew of the ships we intercepted." Vexalia's forked tongue flicked out, tasting the air. "And why should we believe you? For all we know, this could be a prelude to invasion." "If invasion were our intent," the Overseer replied calmly, "this conversation would be unnecessary. We possess the means to end this conflict before it begins. Instead, we extend an offer of friendship and cultural exchange." The Emperor's rage seemed to subside slightly, replaced by calculation. "And what do you offer in exchange for this?" "Friendship. Knowledge," the Overseer said simply. "We have explored realms of science your Empire has yet to dream of. We offer to share some of this knowledge, to help elevate all sentient life in the galaxy." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The allure of advanced technology was strong, but so was the fear of this unknown power. Admiral Zach Still stepped forward. "Your Eminence, if I may, this could be an opportunity. If we accept their offer, we could learn about their defenses, find weaknesses." The Overseer's form flickered, and suddenly every being in the room felt a gentle but firm pressure in their minds. "We advise against such thoughts, Admiral. Our technology is not a weapon to be turned against us or others. It is a tool for growth and understanding." The implicit threat sent shivers through the assembly. The Emperor, however, maintained his composure. "Very well," he said, his voice dripping with false benevolence. "We accept your offer of friendship. We shall send a diplomatic envoy to your Earth to begin negotiations." The Overseer nodded, its form already beginning to fade. "We look forward to your arrival. Oh, and Emperor, we'll be returning Commander Voss and her team. Consider it a gesture of goodwill." As the hologram disappeared, chaos erupted in the chamber. The Emperor turned to his advisors, his voice low and dangerous. "Prepare our most skilled negotiators. and our most lethal assassins. I want that technology, by diplomacy or by force." Little did the Emperor know that on Earth, in a chamber far beyond his comprehension, the Overseer and the leaders of humanity were having a similar conversation. "They will try to betray us," a woman's voice said, her form as fluid as the Overseer's. The Overseer nodded. "Of course. But in doing so, they will learn. And perhaps in time, they will understand that the path of conquest leads only to destruction. Our task is not to conquer, but to teach." As the diplomatic ships from both sides prepared for their journey, the galaxy held its breath. The stage was set for a confrontation that would reshape the very foundations of galactic society. And at the center of it all stood Earth and its enigmatic supercarrier, a beacon of both hope and terror in the vast expanse of space. The gleaming spires of New Jakarta rose into the clouds, a testament to humanity's resilience and ingenuity. In a secluded chamber atop the tallest tower, Commander Kira Voss stood before the Council of Earth, her posture rigid, her mind still reeling from the revelations of the past few days. "Commander," a counselor spoke, her form shimmering like quicksilver, "your insights into Imperial tactics are invaluable. What can we expect from their envoy?" Kira took a deep breath. "Deception, without a doubt. The Empire doesn't negotiate, it dominates. They'll have agents seated throughout their diplomatic corps, probing for weaknesses, seeking any advantage." The Overseer, present as always, nodded. "As we anticipated. Our own measures are in place. Now we must decide how to proceed." Suddenly, an alarm blared. A holographic display materialized, showing a schematic of Earth's orbital defense network. Red dots blinked ominously, indicating multiple breaches. "It appears," the Overseer said calmly, "that the Empire's patience has run out. They're making their move." Deep in the bowels of an Imperial stealth ship, hidden in the shadow of Earth's moon, elite Agent Zorn, once Kira's co-pilot, now revealed as a deep-cover operative, prepared his team for insertion. "Remember," he hissed, his scales glistening with nervous excitement, "our primary objective is the Supercarrier's control systems. Secundus' team will infiltrate their planetary defense grid. Failure is not an option." As the insertion pods launched, Zorn allowed himself a moment of doubt. The humans had proven far more advanced than anyone had imagined, but the Empire had conquered countless worlds. Surely, Earth would fall like all the others. Back in New Jakarta, Kira sprinted down a corridor, flanked by two shimmering guards. "I should have known," she berated herself. Zorn was too curious, too eager. They burst into a control room where technicians worked feverishly at consoles that seemed to be made of light itself. "Status report," Kira barked, falling easily back into her command role. A technician looked up, his eyes glowing with data streams. Multiple incursions detected, but he paused, confusion evident on his face. "They're all being redirected." On the main screen, they watched as Imperial insertion pods veer off course, their occupants unaware that their carefully planned trajectories have been altered. The Overseer's voice echoed in the room. "Did you really think we wouldn't be prepared, Commander?" Every contingency was accounted for. Kira watched in awe as the pods were gently caught in invisible fields, their momentum bleeding away harmlessly. "Where are they being taken?" "To learn," the Overseer replied simply. Zorn's pod shuddered as it hit the atmosphere, but something was wrong. The coastline below wasn't their targeted insertion point. Before he could react, the pod systems went dark, and he felt a strange tingling sensation. In a flash of light, Zorn found himself standing in a vast, white room. His team materialized around him, looking just as confused. Their weapons were gone. "Welcome," a voice said, and the Overseer stepped into view. "We've been expecting you." Zorn snarled, crouching into an attack stance. "What is this? Where are we?" The Overseer's form shifted, taking on a more Draconian appearance. "This is a learning center, Agent Zorn. You sought knowledge of our technology. "We're happy to oblige." Walls of light sprang up around them, displaying vast amounts of information. Scientific formulae, engineering schematics, philosophical treatises. It was overwhelming, beyond anything Zorn had ever encountered. "Why?" Zorn stammered, his training deserting him in the face of this incomprehensible situation. "Why would you show us this?" The overseer's form rippled with what might have been amusement. "Because knowledge, freely given, is the greatest weapon against ignorance and fear. You came seeking weaknesses to exploit. Instead, you'll leave with understanding." As the information flowed around them, Zorn and his team found themselves unable to look away. The secrets of the universe unfolded before them, reshaping their understanding of reality itself. In the Imperial Palace on Coruscant Prime, Emperor Zexatka raged as report after report came in. Every single infiltration team had vanished without a trace. The supercarrier remained impenetrable, the Earth unscathed. Grand Executor Vexalia approached cautiously. "Your Eminence, we've received a transmission from Earth." The Emperor turned, his compound eyes flashing dangerously. "Show me." A hologram flickered to life. It showed Zorn and the other agents, not in chains, but walking freely among humans, engaged in animated discussions, their faces alight with wonder. The Overseer's voice accompanied the image. "Your people are safe, Emperor. They're learning, growing. We invite you to do the same. The path of conquest only leads to destruction. Join us instead on the path of discovery." As the transmission ended, a heavy silence fell over the Imperial throne room. The game had changed, and for the first time in millennia, the Galactic Empire found itself utterly outmatched, not by weapons, but by wisdom. The fate of the galaxy hung in the balance, with humanity extending a hand not of dominance, but of enlightenment. The question remained, would the Empire grasp it, or plunge the galaxy into a war it couldn't hope to win? The Imperial Palace on Coruscant Prime had become a hive of frenzied activity. Emperor Zexatka paced restlessly, his chidnous legs clicking against the polished floor. The holograms of Zorn and the other agents, free and seemingly enlightened on Earth, haunted him. "It's a trick," he muttered. "It must be." Grand Executor Vexalia slithered forward, her scales shimmering in the dim light. "Your Eminence, we've received a most unusual transmission. It's from Admiral Krovax." The Emperor froze. Admiral Krovax, the Empire's most decorated fleet commander, had been missing for decades, presumed dead after venturing into uncharted space. "Show me," he commanded. A hologram flickered to life, showing the weathered face of Admiral Krovax. But he looked different, younger, somehow his eyes alight with an inner fire. "My Emperor," Krovax began, his voice steady, "I have seen wonders beyond imagination. The humans, their supercarrier, it's not a weapon, it's a key." "A key to what?" the Emperor demanded. Krovax smiled enigmatically. "To the universe itself." On Earth, in a chamber deep within the supercarrier, Commander Kira Voss stood in awe. Before her stretched a vast array of swirling energies, patterns of light and dark that seemed to fold in on themselves infinitely. The Overseer's voice echoed around her. "This, Commander, is the heart of our journey." Kira's mind struggled to comprehend what she was seeing. What is it?" "A gateway," the Overseer replied. "To other dimensions, other realities. The supercarrier isn't just a ship, Kira. It's a bridge between worlds." Suddenly, a familiar figure stepped out of the swirling energies. Admiral Krovax, looking barely older than when he disappeared years ago. Kira gasped. "Admiral, but how?" Krovax smiled warmly. "Time flows differently where I've been, Commander. The wonders I've seen, they defy description. And now, it's time for others to see them too." Back on Coruscant Prime, the Emperor listened with growing disbelief as Krovax explained. The supercarrier was a construct of impossible complexity, designed to traverse not just space, but the very fabric of reality itself. They're offering us a chance to join them, Your Eminence, Krovax concluded, to explore not just our galaxy, but infinite galaxies, infinite possibilities. The Emperor's compound eyes flickered rapidly, his mind racing. And if we refuse? Krovax's expression turned grave. Then we condemn ourselves to stagnation, to fighting over scraps while the humans and their allies explore the cosmos. We'd be left behind, Your Eminence, irrelevant. On the Supercarrier, Kira watched as teams of humans and former Imperial agents worked together, deciphering the mysteries of interdimensional travel. The air crackled with excitement and possibility. Zorn, the once loyal Imperial agent, approached her, his scales gleaming with a new vitality. "Commander," he said, his voice filled with wonder, "I never imagined. The things we're learning here. It changes everything." Kira nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "That's humanity's gift, Zorn. We don't conquer. We explore, we learn, we grow, and we invite others to grow with us." The Overseer materialized beside them, its form rippling with barely contained energy. "The Emperor is deliberating," it announced. "The choice before him is monumental. But regardless of his decision, we must prepare. The gateway is nearly ready." As if on cue, the swirling energies at the heart of the carrier pulsed, sending a shockwave of iridescent light cascading through the chamber. Kira felt a thrill of excitement and terror run through her. "What happens now?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. The Overseer's form solidified, taking on a more human appearance. For the first time, Kira saw something like emotion in its eyes. "Now, Commander, we take the next step. We've explored our dimension, our reality. It's time to see what lies beyond." As the gateway pulsed again, stronger this time, Kira realized that this was more than just a conflict between Earth and the Empire. It was a turning point for all sentient life in the galaxy. The Supercarrier's secret was out, and with it, the promise of a journey beyond imagination. The fate of not just their galaxy, but countless others, hung in the balance. And humanity, once a small, hidden species on a forgotten planet, now stood at the forefront of the greatest adventure in the history of existence. The next pulse of energy bathed them all in otherworldly light, and Kira knew, with unshakable certainty, that nothing would ever be the same again. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire, igniting imaginations and fears in equal measure. Earth's Supercarrier wasn't just a weapon or a ship. It was a key to unlocking the multiverse itself. As the information permeated through every corner of the Galactic Empire, long-held beliefs crumbled, and centuries-old power structures began to shift. On 1,000 worlds, beings of all species looked to the skies with new eyes, wondering what wonders, or horrors, lay beyond the veil of their reality. In the Imperial Palace on Coruscant Prime, Emperor Zexadka faced the most crucial decision of his long reign. The throne room was packed with advisors, generals, and diplomats, all awaiting his word. "Your Eminence, Grand Executor Vexalia urge, we must seize this opportunity. With the humans' technology, we could rule not just this galaxy, but infinite galaxies." The Emperor's compound eyes flickered thoughtfully. "And if we fail? If we make enemies of these humans and their interdimensional allies?" A new voice cut through the tension. "Then we consign ourselves to obsolescence, Your Eminence." All eyes turned to see Admiral Krovax striding into the chamber, flanked by a shimmering hologram of the Overseer and a very real, very nervous-looking Commander Kira Voss. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the assembly. The Emperor rose, his exoskeleton darkening with emotion. "You dare bring these entities into the heart of our empire?" Krovax bowed deeply. "I dare to bring hope, Your Eminence, hope for a future greater than we ever imagined." The Overseer's hologram stepped forward, its form rippling with barely contained energy. "Emperor Zexadka, we come not to threaten or coerce, but to extend an invitation. The multiverse awaits, teeming with discoveries that could revolutionize life for all your subjects. Kira, looking both awed and terrified to be standing in the imperial throne room, spoke up. "Your Eminence, I've seen what lies beyond. It's beautiful and terrifying and wondrous. We humans didn't create this technology. We discovered it, inherited it from something far older and greater than ourselves. And now we want to share it." The Emperor's antennae twitched with interest. "Share it? You would give us this power?" The Overseer's form solidified, taking on a more imperial aspect. "Not give, Emperor. Teach, guide. The power to traverse realities is not a weapon to be wielded, but a responsibility to be shouldered. We offer you and your people a chance to join us on this journey of discovery." As if on cue, the air in the center of the throne room shimmered and split, revealing a window into another world. Through it, they could see vistas of impossible beauty, floating cities of crystal, forests of silver trees that sang in the wind, oceans of liquid starlight. The assembled imperial dignitaries gasped in wonder. Even the Emperor stood transfixed, his mandibles slack with awe. Kovacs stepped closer to the portal. "This is just one of infinite realities, Your Eminence. Imagine what we could learn, how we could grow. The Empire could transform from conquerors to explorers, from subjugators to scholars." For a long moment, the Emperor was silent, his alien features unreadable. Then, slowly, he descended from his throne. With each step, it seemed as if the weight of millennia of imperial history fell away from his shoulders. "I have ruled this empire for centuries," he said, his voice filled with a new humility. "I have seen the rise and fall of civilizations, the birth and death of stars. But this is beyond anything I could have imagined." He turned to the Overseer, to Kira, to Kovacs. "You offer us not conquest, but transcendence. How can we refuse?" A wave of excitement swept through the throne room. Diplomats huddled together, already discussing the implications. Generals looked both relieved and uncertain, realizing their fleets of warships might soon be repurposed for exploration. The Overseer's form blazed with light. "Then let this be the dawn of a new age. Not just for humanity, not just for the Empire, but for all sentient life across the multiverse." As the Emperor stepped towards the shimmering portal, Kira felt a profound sense of history in the making. Humanity, once hidden and isolated on Earth, had not only revealed itself to the galaxy, but had become the catalyst for a cosmic paradigm shift. The journey ahead was uncertain, filled with both promise and peril. But as the first tentative alliance between Earth and the Empire took shape, Kira knew that the true adventure was only just beginning. The Supercarrier, once an object of fear and awe, now stood as a beacon of hope, a bridge between worlds, realities, and species, and humanity, with its unyielding spirit of exploration and innovation, would help guide the way into the vast, unknown wonders of the multiverse. 5 years had passed since the day the Emperor stepped through the interdimensional portal. The galaxy, no, the multiverse, would never be the same. On the bridge of the Earth's flagship supercarrier, now christened Nexus, Commander Kira Voss stood beside Emperor Zex Atka, their unlikely alliance a testament to how far they'd come. The view screen before them showed a breathtaking sight. A fleet of ships, each bearing the insignia of a different species or faction, assembled for the first ever multiversal exploration initiative. "Remarkable," the Emperor chittered, his compound eyes reflecting the myriad of vessels. "To think, just a few years ago, we were on the brink of war." Kira nodded, a small smile playing on her lips. "Humanity has always believed that exploration brings out the best in us. It seems that holds true for all sentient life." The Overseer materialized beside them, its form a swirling amalgamation of energy and matter. "The journey ahead will challenge us all. There are wonders beyond imagination waiting to be discovered, but also dangers we cannot fathom." As if to underscore the Overseer's words, alarms suddenly blared across the Nexus. Holograms sprang to life, showing a massive disturbance in the fabric of space-time. Report. Kira barked, falling easily into her command role. A technician, his eyes glowing with streams of data, responded quickly. Commander, we're detecting an anomaly unlike anything we've encountered. It's as if multiple realities are colliding. The view screen shifted, showing a roiling mass of energy, beautiful and terrifying in its intensity. Tendrils of otherworldly light reached out, grasping at the assembled ships. Evasive maneuvers. The Emperor ordered, his military instincts kicking in. But Kira held up a hand. Wait, she said, her voice filled with a mixture of fear and excitement. Look closer. As they watched, the chaotic energies began to coalesce, taking on a form that defied easy description. It was vast beyond comprehension, a being of pure interdimensional energy. The Overseer's form pulsed with recognition. It can't be, it whispered. The architects. The ones who created the interdimensional gateways. Kira asked, awe evident in her voice. Before the Overseer could respond, a voice echoed through their minds, ancient and powerful beyond measure. Children of the cosmos. It boomed, each word resonating with the weight of eons. UHAVTAKN your first STVs, into THT greater reality. But are you ready for the 8 lalais beyond? Emperor Zexatka stepped forward, his posture regal despite his obvious trepidation. We have united our peoples, set aside our differences. We come seeking knowledge and understanding. Kira joined him, her voice strong and clear. We may be young in the grand scheme of the multiverse, but our potential is limitless. We're ready to learn, to grow, to face whatever challenges await us. The being seemed to consider their words, its form shifting through countless colors and dimensions. Brave words, it replied. But bravery alone is not enough. You must prove yourselves worthy of the cosmos. The Overseer's form solidified, taking on aspects of every species present in the fleet. We have already begun to do so, it said. Look at what we've accomplished in mere years. Generations of conflict, set aside for the promise of discovery. We may be young, but we are united in our quest for knowledge. For a moment that seemed to stretch into eternity, the cosmic being was silent. Then, slowly, it began to shrink, condensing itself into a form that could fit within the nexus. Very well, it said, its voice now tinged with what might have been amusement. Your HA's only just begun. We will be watching, guiding, testing. The multiverse is vast, and full of wonders and horrors. Are you prepared? Kira looked around the bridge, at the faces of humans, aliens and beings that defied categorization. She saw fear there, yes, but also determination, curiosity, and hope. We are, she said simply. With that, the being vanished, leaving behind a shimmering portal unlike any they'd seen before. Beyond it lay vistas of unimaginable beauty and complexity. New universes, new laws of physics, new forms of life waiting to be discovered. Emperor Zexatka turned to Kira, his alien features set in what she now recognized as a smile. Commander Voss, shall we take the leap? Kira grinned back, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders and the thrill of the unknown in her heart. Let's make humanity proud, Your Eminence. No, let's make the entire multiverse proud. As the Nexus led the fleet towards the portal, Kira couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come. From a hidden planet with an enigmatic supercarrier to the vanguard of multiversal exploration, humanity had not only found its place among the stars, it had helped reshape the very nature of existence. The journey ahead would be perilous, filled with challenges they couldn't begin to imagine. But as they crossed the threshold into a new reality, Kira knew one thing for certain. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together, united in the greatest adventure in the history of all possible worlds. The age of isolation was over. The age of exploration had begun. And humanity, once a small spark in a vast cosmic ocean, now blazed as a beacon of hope, curiosity, and unity for all sentient life across the multiverse.